Hey class, in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about level design principles and also what we're going to be doing this week. So we're going to keep working with Micro Studio. In the demo video for this week, I'll go over creating levels and adding obstacles and items into the levels. That'll be the next video. In this video, I'm just going to talk about some of the basic level design principles that we will be thinking about when we start to create our levels. So these are just a few examples. It's not exhaustive, but there's a few things that will help you, think about what to work on when you're creating your first level. We're just going to create one sort of bigger level in this lesson or this week, and then next week we'll add, more levels if you want to. Just a quick look at the schedule. So we have one more week for this project than we did for our Bitsy and our Twine project. What we'll do is this week we'll build out a level. Next week we'll add more levels and do some video documentation. Or actually we're going to do video documentation this week as well. So we'll talk about that this week also. And then what I want to do is for this one, just to keep things a little bit more clean, is turn in the project and then we'll do our play testing. So I think that was a little confusing for the online version of the class versus the in-person version of the class. So we'll do that a little bit differently this time. And I'll adjust some of the assignments for that. I haven't done that yet, but I'll do that soon. So you'll see that in Brightspace. But anyway, let's get into our level design principles. I have this loaded here. Level design principles, these are not like hard rules. They're more like guidelines. But it's helpful as a new designer to have some guidelines, to have some ideas of what you want to put in your level before you get started. So one thing that we want to keep in mind is the process of discovery through practice. So we want to build stuff and then see what works, what doesn't work. Having ideas in mind can help us, but sometimes you just try different things, see how it goes. So you want to be testing your levels as you're building them. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time building a huge level and then you start to play it and realize that it barely works. So make sure to build and test and kind of go back and forth. Okay, so our first principle is guidance. Guidance is pretty much what it sounds like. It's just showing the player where to go and what to do. But there's a lot of different ways that we can do this. So for example, here we see a sort of breakdown of the first level of Mario. And we see a few different things that are kind of highlighted by this diagram. We have movement going to the right, which shows us that we want to move to the right. We have the enemy character coming at us, moving left. So that kind of shows us that we need to do it soon, that we need to start moving or we're going to get attacked. And then we have these platforms with different colors and different designs that kind of suggest the rewards. And so we see all of the obstacles and the goal and all the rewards just as soon as we're enter the world. So this is an example of guidance. Sometimes guidance is very explicit. It just says you have to save the princess or you have to get to the end of the level. But sometimes guidance is implicit, meaning we see it through the design and the visuals in the level. So we always want to make sure the character knows what they're supposed to be doing. And then, they might not know where they're going, but there should be some reason for them to be moving forward. Okay, obstacles and rewards. So both obstacles and rewards can help lead us through the level. So if you have rewards, typically coins is sort of the main one that you'll see, or rings in the case of Sonic. When we're playing Sonic, when we collect the rings, we can see, where we have been and where we haven't been. So the rings have this very specific mechanic or function of showing us where to go in the game. If we've collected all the rings, then you won't see any rings there. If there's still rings, that means we have to keep going. Obstacles are things that make it hard to get through the level, but can still show us that we're kind of on the right track. If we run into an obstacle, that means we're sort of going in the right direction. Okay, the next principle is the perfect player principle. This is a screenshot from N, which is a really challenging platformer physics game. The point here is not that your level should be easy, but that it should be playable. And in theory, there should be a perfect player who can play your level and get through the whole thing the first time they try it. So that means there's no kind of like gotchas, there's nothing that's impossible. Everything is possible to do. It might be hard to do it the first time, you might have to practice a few times before you get it right, but in theory, you can play through the level that, in one go. Another principle to keep in mind is the principle of unique levels. So if you have a game where there's just a bunch of levels and you have no idea, the difference between one or the other, it's not going to be a very exciting game. In theory, each level should have a unique quality to it. So when you talk about a game, you talk about the underworld or the underwater level or whatever it is. In this case, this is the Milkman Conspiracy level from Psychonauts, which is a really good game with very unique levels. If you've never played that game, I highly recommend that. And it's a great example of like there's I think 9 levels in that game, and everyone has like a completely different sense of visual design, different sense of physics. Like they're all very, very unique. Okay, last one is pacing. So this is another one where we want to play and then build, play, and build. We want to have a sense that we're not creating a level that's just like an endless series of pointless jumps, or we have to go all the way to the end and come back to the beginning. This is a water temple, screenshot of the water temple from Ocarina of Time, which is notorious for making you go really far into the level and then come all the way back and then go back in. And in some cases that can be interesting or play with the character's expectations, but generally we want to have good pacing. So we don't want to have the player getting through the level like really fast and just being like, okay, that was boring, or having endless tasks that are all kind of the same. So we want to have some challenges. We want the challenges to develop over time and get more interesting, and we want to avoid this sense of like just arduous, like the same thing over and over again. So that's it for this. This is just a few kind of ideas to get you started with, and we'll get into using MicroStudio to build out a level with some different components that we can, start to think about the design of a level and think about what to put in it and how to make it challenging and lead our character through the level. So we'll do that in the demo following this one. So I'll see you guys in that video.